Welcome to Z's Daily Acceptance. I'm Z and I'm a junkie. Today's video is going to be on, or it's titled, Do I Want to Move Into Something or Away from It? / Next. Okay, so what does that mean? Okay, so what is a video title named Do I Want to Move Into Something or Away from It? / Next. When I first came into recovery, very early on in my recovery, my eyes started opening. My eyes were shut for over half a century. I didn't see anything. I literally didn't see anything other than the ways and means of getting and doing more. That's all I see. No, those were my marching orders. And whatever I had to do, that's what I do. I was blind to everything. I always experienced an experience before the experience could be actually experienced. So I never experienced anything. So early on in my recovery, my eyes started opening. Somewhere around that third step, they really started opening. And I had to learn, how it is that I see all these things with not getting caught up in judging them and or interpreting them. Because I was seeing these things in meetings and in life itself, and I'd be caught up in them. And what I mean by that, I'd be up at 3 o'clock in the morning thinking what this person said or how this person was acting or, what this situation did, you know what I mean? And if they could just do this, and I'll just, I wish I could just tell them this. And, I'd get all wrapped up in that. And meanwhile, the people or the things or the places I was all caught up in, like I was going to change something, those people, those places and things weren't even thinking about me at 3 o'clock in the morning. So the space in my head was seriously being rented. So here it is, my eyes are full blown open and everything that I'm seeing, I'm getting into judging and interpreting it. Okay, and I simply went to the God of my understanding as I do all the time. And I asked him, how is it that you see without getting caught up in all the crap? And the God of my understanding simply said, Z, observe. Don't get into judging or interpreting. Just observe something. When you observe something, just observe it and see if you want to move into it or away from it. Next. It's that simple. I don't have to get caught up nowadays because I've learned that and I put it into actual application now for years. And the freedom from that is just immense. Because you know something, if I don't like what somebody's sharing or out in the world, I don't like what somebody's talking about, or I don't like how a situation is, I simply go like this, because I'm going to see it. Okay, I simply, after I see it, say, listen, am I going to move into it or away from it? Next. I'm not here to sit here and to try to interpret it and judge it and how can I fix it or make it better. None of that crap. I simply observe and move into it or away from it. Next. 95% of the times that works just through prayer. Because that prayer is the 7th step, that humility. The humility lets me see things for what they are. Okay? Because the ego can only see things in a superior or inferior manner. Period. It can never see things for the way they are. So humility, okay, seeing through the eyes of my spirit, okay, I could see things for the way they are. Okay, that's that 7th step principle, humility. After I see things for the way they are, I got to get back to that first step and get into some honest acceptance of what it is that I'm seeing. Okay, I got to get into the action of giving consent to receive a power greater than myself, which is the God of my understanding. Okay, so I can undertake what it is that I need to see and then surrender that. Okay, so the honesty, the acceptance, and the surrender of the first step, once again, comes in once a day, every day, throughout each day, just for today, one to infinite times a day. Okay, it's in living this program, okay, in which we never see an addict ever use again. One of the cornerstones of living this program for me is the ability to recommit back to it. So if I'm caught up, okay, in something, okay, and immediately I'm going to go off judging and interpreting it until I get into simply honestly accepting all the thinking and feeling and behavior that's surrounding that. Okay? There'll be a million scenarios. I'm not going to get into scenarios here. But I got to honestly get with all the thinking, feeling, and all the behavior that's surrounding a certain situation that I'm observing and that I'm now getting caught up into judging and interpreting and surrendering it, completely defeated, praying only for his forgiveness and only for the knowledge of his will and his power to be carried out in me. And never once has he failed to remove that from me. So I could get back into it. Do I want to move into it or away from it? Next. Because it was very interesting learning that in the beginning and applying that to this day, okay, in what I just spoke about. It's interesting because when I move into the commands of the God of my understanding, yes, it's very different. The commands of the God of my understanding are very, very different than the commands of a human being. A command of a human being is, yeah, do this, okay? The God of my understanding is, yeah, do this, but here, I'll also direct and instruct you. You know, and don't worry about making mistakes. We were born to make mistakes. We just weren't born to perpetuate in them. Okay? Mistakes give us our lessons, and our lessons is where we get our blessings. The best we could do with a blessing is share it, because our next blessing is coming from our next lesson that we don't perpetuate in. Okay? But here it is when I move into the command of the God of my understanding. Yeah, that immediate relief and that promise of freedom, that progression I talk about, there's an advanced state of it now because I got some actual application and I'm not getting caught up in people, places, and things in the judgment and interpretation of them as if I could change them anyways. So the freedom is huge, but what also comes along with that, with the God of my understanding, let me in on, okay, probably after a year, okay, a good amount of time, whatever, in practicing that. He also let me know that's just what a lot of people out here want you to do, Z. They want you to get caught up in interpreting them and judging them instead of just observing what you see and simply, hey, do I want to move towards that person or away from that person? Next. Okay? Because the judgment and interpretations left up to the God of my understanding. Those are things way too grand for me. Okay? So he let me in on that people, there's a lot of people that walk this planet that want you to get caught up. They want you to get caught up in judging them, interpreting them. There he is. You know, I was one of them. I walked around for a half century like that. Are you kidding me? Marching orders were getting ways and means of doing more. If I could get you caught up in interpreting and judging me, well, I got you off balance then. Do you understand? The freedom is huge. There's never one principle that I ever put in actual application that didn't bring me mad freedom. Incredible freedom. Okay? Do I want to move into this situation, be a person, place, or thing, or do I want to move away from it? Next.